Three, two, one. Bam. You're on Artist on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artists. If it's your first time here, subscribe, post your comments down below, and hit the notifications tab whenever we come on. In the hot seat, Mr. Bob Daisley. So, Bob, what's trending? You know what's trending in the news.
Yeah, I sure do.
and you know, I want to do a little plug for you because for everybody that knows the legacy of Bob Daisley, you could get to know a lot more about Bob. You got to check out his book right here for fact's sake. You could get it on Amazon. I'll put links down below. Click right above your screen. You could segue into this. It never gets old. Your stories, the Blizzard of Oz band, that never gets old. I mean, right now, I mean, it's no secret. They just did the final Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne. It's done. It's retiring, so they say.
Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah,
and just for, yeah, for anybody listening, this is just conversation. So whatever I say, whatever facts, if I get wrong, out there in the crowd, just have patience with me, okay? And Bob, and and I'm gonna have Bob. I had some questions that you guys wrote on my wall. Some info at
Okay.
adikalive.com, and they
Right.
shot some questions at us, and you can answer them. You don't have to, or you could laugh at them off. Whatever you want, Bob. I'm not going to put you on the spot. Well, I am going to put you on the
Right.
spot. You know, that's what's good about the show. You
That's
know,
fine. Yeah. Yeah.
but
You're
it's
to be
all good.
on the spot. Yeah.
You could plead the fifth. But let me ask you, Bob, the burning question. Um, did you feel anything when you heard about this Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne reunion, or it didn't bother you, or you just didn't think about it?
Well, obviously I thought about it. It's you can't help not think about it, but really, I knew I wouldn't be invited there. There's too much dirty water gone under the bridge for me to have been invited or to be a part of it. But I think having been such a big part of the Sabbath family tree and the Aussie family tree, I should have been acknowledged or recognised or at least mentioned somewhere along the line by somebody, even if it wasn't Ozzy himself or Sabbath. I did tracks on Bill Ward's solo album, the drummer of Sabbath. I did a Black Sabbath album, all of it, The Eternal Idol, and the Blizzard of Oz, the original band that we had with Ozzy after he'd gone from Sabbath. Uh, Set up his empire they've built an empire on those first two records that we did as the original lineup with Randy Rhoads and Lee Kerslake, myself and Ozzy.
Absolutely.
So to not acknowledge or recognize any of that it just seems it's the elephant in the room, isn't it? It's
The bus. We'll keep them. We'll just keep them all discreet, like this right here.
all
A couple
right,
of my
sure.
friends, okay.
Mhm.
but
Right.
but and working musicians, people who actually get paid for a living, and they all had their point of view, and everybody was shocked and then the fans. I put a thing yesterday afterwards, and let me
Right.
see if I could share this with you really quick. So, because the public numbers don't lie, and the public, they're the voice. So right here, I did this. Was it what you expected? The final Ozzy Black Sabbath show. And then
Right.
when I'm going on here, and if anybody wants to watch it, they could click on it. But I just want to show, there's positive reviews. But right here, we got to see the pay-per-view in the theater room with great sound. Ozzy looked like he was really enjoying himself. What a fantastic celebration of a legendary band. All other bands since owe everything to Birmingham's Black Sabbath. That's the first one. Then you got the second one. Bob Daisley and Vinny Appice should have taken part. And somebody writes, if you don't think Sharon won't prop him up again, you're nuts. I mean, the comments could be crucial. Pretty funny. What do they write here? And I disagree. I think it's the last time we see Ozzy do a full show, maybe a one-off or a one late night show, but I doubt it. Somebody
Mhm.
writes he didn't even sing one song at the Rock Hall. and he did about 8 or 9 songs here. I think he sang them live, question mark, so some people are saying it wasn't him singing. Looks like a different times Ozzy wanted to get up out of that chair. So you got a lot of people, a lot of questions here, and as
Well,
you
I'm
could
just
see.
I'm just glad that they did pull it off, because when I first heard about it, and
Mhm.
knowing that the state that Ozzy was in, I did wonder, are they going to be able to pull this off? And is it going to be fair to the fans for the amount of money that they're paying? Is it going to be worth the dough that they're paying? But I'm glad that they did pull it off, and it all went fine, and the fans were, well, most of them, I suppose, were satisfied with what they got.
Well, some were satisfied, and some the diehard fans, the generation that knows the work you've done, some of them are upset about it as well, and they would have liked
Yeah.
to seen you there. Let me ask you a question, Bob. If you
Hmm.
would have got a call to
Yeah.
go down there, would have you went down there and played?
No, I don't think I would have gone anyway. I probably would have said thank you for inviting me. It's nice, and I would have given some sort of message to the fans or whatever. But I really didn't want to be a part of it anyway.
Mhm.
So, and that's not sour grapes. It's. I was surprised that Jakey Lee was there. With he's had some issues and problems over the years, but I think Jake just put his grievances aside, and did it as a sort of, because that was a big part of his career and life in the days of Bark at the Moon and those days. So he just wanted to say farewell, and this is a, have some closure on the whole thing. So
Yeah, I mean, I thought Jake looked great. I thought he played great, but
yeah, I did
especially
too.
after what he was just shot in Vegas, which is
I got
crazy.
shot 3 times. Yeah,
And
with
the
3 bullets
story
in it. Mm.
and the story for people to know, the gun that that was found that shot him, it turns out the people who shot him, that gun was linked to 2 different murders. Did you know that?
Oh wow! No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
Jake had posted that on his, Instagram, Facebook page. So
wow.
that they caught the guys. So now Jake even said that the eyes aren't on him anymore. He's okay, but those guys will probably be going away for a very long time, which is
Right.
crazy to think.
Yeah. So I suppose that'll be a charge of attempted murder, won't it?
Absolutely. Now, I'm happy Jake walked away. His dog is okay. That being said,
Yeah.
I'm playing devil's advocate, and this is a conversation, not an interview with you, Bob, because you and I know each other, and I'm not taking sides because we like each other. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm just being as an outsider looking in. I don't know why Jake was playing not with Ozzy. Like, he should have played a song with Ozzy. I felt
Well, yes, yes. If he could have managed it, it would have been nice to see Jake do "Bark at the Moon" with Ozzy,
yes,
because that
uh,
was the key song for that era.
absolutely,
It was
absolutely,
nice
and
to see Jake up there and as part of it, but I was surprised that he didn't do something with Ozzy.
I was absolutely, and some of the people there they did a great job, but some of it I didn't understand. Like, first of all, I thought it was really cool to see Ron Wood, but I thought it was very odd also, and it just didn't make
Where's
sense.
the link there? That's the association of Ronnie Wood and Sabbath, or Steven Tyler doing a Led Zeppelin song on that. I thought that was a bit strange as
I,
well.
you know what, Bob? I think you're reading my mind, and you and I did not have a conversation about this. And
No,
I felt like it was great to see Steven Tyler sing because he was having problems with his vocals, and he sounded great. He sounded great, but it had no connection with Sabbath. I didn't
I know.
understand
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, the new kid, Young Blood, I think his name is. He's a new hot shot kid coming out, and I could see that more. Tommy Aldridge, I would have liked to seen him there. How about
Well,
Brad
yeah,
Gillis?
where was it was Don Airy wasn't even mentioned.
No,
No mention of Lee Kerslake,
no.
the drummer of the Blizzard of Oz, or Johnny Cook, the keyboard player on Diary of a Madman. He's not often mentioned, and he played such a big part in being on that second album.
That was a time when Black Sabbath, before that came out, they fired Ozzy. Nobody wanted to work with Ozzy at that time. You well, not kind of, you created this whole, you brought him out of the ashes and you created this band, and not a band, but it was such a chemistry that you, with Lee, you and Randy. I mean, it was so magical in those songs.
Well, there
It's
wouldn't have been the Blizzard of Oz as we know it with Randy Rhoads had it not been for me, because when I first went to Ozzy's house, he'd already seen Randy in LA, and he said, "Yep, you got the job." But he came back to England, and he had two other guys at his house, a different drummer and a different guitarist. And David Arden, Don Arden's son, Sharon's brother, he phoned me and said, "Go up to Ozzy's house." So I caught a train up. Ozzy met me at the station. We went to his house. At the end of us having a play together, I said, "Yeah, these other two guys are nice enough guys, and they're good enough players." And I said, "But then not what I would call world class." And he said, "Oh, okay." And he went in and told him that it wasn't working out and to go home. And then he said, "I met this other guitarist in LA." And I said, "Who's that?" And he said, "He's a guitar teacher." And I thought of some sort of guy in a cardigan and slippers with pipe and glasses. But he said his name's Randy Rhoads. I said, "Well, let's get him over here." And that's what started it was just me and Ozzy to start with. And then we got Randy over. Then it was three of us writing songs and auditioning drummers.